next guest this evening at 2 minutes to 11 on The Late Show. We can't use his real name, but tonight he wishes to go by the name Terry, because Terry is a scam baiter, and he's with us right now. Good evening to you, sir.
Hi, how you doing? You all right?
Very, very well indeed. So you're a scam baiter. In layman's terms, what exactly do you do all day then, Terry?
So basically, there's a lot of scams which are on WhatsApp, and I will contact the scammers, lead them into a false sense of security that I might be a potential victim, and I'll just see how much I can penetrate the scam, how much information I can get, whether I can make an intervention to stop somebody getting scammed, which is sometimes successful. But other than that, it's just about making a report and making it public, raising awareness and trying to make people aware of the of certain scams in order to prevent people losing money.
And you know for an absolute fact that you have helped people, but you're doing this every single day. How are you making a living from this, Terry?
Well, I'm in a position at the moment where I can pay a lot more attention to this, but there is a donation link which is on my YouTube channel, and there's also a community of us which come together. So it's not just me on my own doing this. There's about 14 of us in a group that all pool our resources together to make things happen.
But what do the police make of what you're doing? Because obviously you're helping the general public to hopefully avoid some of these scams, but you don't know who you're dealing with, and you could be dealing with people that the police are currently investigating. So what do the police make of what you're doing?
Well, I report everything to Action Fraud and usually to the FCA, because a lot of the scams are investment scams, and they're usually based outside of the country, in Cambodia, the Philippines, China, Hong Kong. So the only response I get from the police is that they're unable to start a line of inquiry because there's nothing going on in this country that pertains to that scam. So they're kind of, they just have to turn their backs on it because there's no way that they can follow it up.
So for you, it's just about protecting people. You know people that have been scammed. Enough is enough. You don't think enough is being done. You're there to try and draw these people in, to get the information, to stop them doing what they're doing.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever's possible, and to get as much information about the scams. The scams which are going on in Cambodia are pretty dark, really, because a lot of the people that are contacting you to scam you are actually being held against the will by organised crime.
Oh, that's horrible.
So,
I mean, how emotionally involved do you get with this? Because, as you say, there is a very dark side associated to scams that maybe people don't realise, and you're speaking directly to those people. How emotionally involved do you get with this yourself?
Yeah, it can make me very angry, but when I get comments and people coming to join the community and they said, because of your video, I stopped spending any more money, or when I intervene and they didn't spend any money, you know, that just makes it all worthwhile, you know. So the anger drives me, but knowing that if I can just stop one person from getting scammed, then it's all worth it, you know.
Absolutely. And final question to you, Terry, and this is a really, really important question as well. What is the biggest scam at the moment that even somebody who thinks, I would never, ever in a million years fall for something like this, they could fall for? What's that big scam at the moment?
Well, one thing I would say before I disclose the worst two is that the victims that they seem to be targeting are aged between 18 and 60, and they're just catching people off guard while they're preoccupied with other things.
Yeah. And
it's usually some sort of fake betting website or a crypto investment and with pyramid schemes. But the worst two is All Shall World, which is a fake trading website that trades in cryptocurrency. They're making easily £10,000 a day.
But how are they doing that? So are they sucking people in as almost to say, right, we will give you money So it almost looks like, well, hang on a minute, they're giving me money, which would then lead that person to make a bigger investment and the money would go. Is that how it works? Explain simply.
Essence, yeah, they will make it look like you're making money for nothing, that you're just trading, and then they will encourage you and entice you to invest. And the second that you put the money in, they will make it so that in order to withdraw your money, you need to put more money in. And I know of people who've borrowed money from the friends and family, and they've got into debt for thousands because of this. Some people have lost $2,000, some people have lost 3, maybe 5,000 to this. They'll take whatever they can, and they will encourage you to take money from your friends and family.
And there'll be people listening to this that say, well, how could you be so silly? I mean, if somebody out of the blue contacts you and says, can you give me some money? You wouldn't do that. So how are they doing this? How? Because I can't get my head around it.
Well, I think that you should never underestimate how people are hypnotized by thinking that they're going to make money for nothing. And the websites that they've constructed are actually quite sophisticated. They're quite convincing if you don't know what you're looking for. And because the pyramid schemes, you'll have other victims that are sort of the blind leading the blind, so they'll increase the trust that you'll have in the community with other victims. But it's usually anybody can fall victim to a scam. It just takes a moment where your mind is preoccupied and you're stressed, or you're distracted just enough to not really be paying attention to what's going on. And in just that alone, people lose their life savings. So it can happen to anyone, really.
Well, I think the best advice from tonight is, if something comes through on your phone and you're not quite sure what it is, phone Action Fraud. Action Fraud have got a hotline. Ring them, give them the information, and they can tell you straight away whether or not that's a scam. Because often these scams, they work in a heartbeat, that they get you so anxious that you almost feel like you have to hit that button there and then. Don't. Wait. Pause, think about it, make a phone call, get advice.
Well, I think the best advice really is, if someone contacts you randomly on WhatsApp, or they said, do you want a part-time job that pays a few £100 a day, just ignore it. You wouldn't just talk to a stranger in the street who just come up to you and say that. You'd be suspicious. So it shouldn't be any different on WhatsApp. For sure, you can report numbers or whatever come by, but just to insulate yourself, the best thing is just not to respond.
Final question to you, Terry, and this has been a fascinating conversation. You are doing this because you want to help people. Luckily for you, by the sounds of it, you're in a position where you can do this, and you're doing this 7 days a week at the moment, voluntarily. How long can you carry this on for?
Well, that I don't have an answer for. I'd like to be able to do it as much as possible and as effectively as possible for as long as I can. But there's other people out there. It's not just me who are out there. There's a whole community of scam baiters, and I'm just a small drop in a larger pond, really. But yeah, if I can do anything, I will. If there's a way into a scam that I think would help people raise awareness and help people not fall for those scams, then I'll take it.
Terry, can we talk to you in the future? Would that be all right?
Definitely, yeah.
I'd love to catch up again. I really appreciate you coming on the programme tonight, and as I say, we'll speak to you in the future. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for calling. Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Night for now. There you go. Terry, who is a full-time scam